They go marching in a remarch. Donna Puna from Lopino and Los Pajos. Don Maracas, Rampanacas. I see her and I want her. I got to have her.
All your favorite parang hits.
Walk on the friends from Tobago. Christmas they reach in Fat Meadow. With a bumpers and a quattro, a violin and a banjo. They say they always had a plan to give me family a parang. They wake up my mommy right away when they ring out with this loud way. My Jeffrey, oh, get up. Hey, like you are here, the neighbor cock crowing, no girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, get up. Time to put on smoke in your kitchen, no girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, wait up. I hope you know it's white oak a drinking, no girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, get up.
Say Merry Christmas to everybody. Big love to everybody all around the world. Checking out the Glam Parang Jam. DJ Anna Ultra Simo. Merry Christmas to you and yours. It's all about beautiful music. It's Christmas time.
Neighbor, neighbor, open the door, neighbor. It's Christmas morning. You should be waking. Put the drinks on the table.
peace to the great Kenny J. This is a story. Hear the story, y'all.
If you see your neighbor while shopping in Trevor, hush your mouth, hush your mouth.
Yes, indeed, of course, a pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are streaming on the World Wide Web. Yes, indeed, of course, it may be that because it's tomorrow is my night off, that is why, of course, I'm so scintillatingly pleased, and of course, expressing so much, of course, parang tonight. But of course, we have some very important matters to clear up and to, of course, certify. Why? Because last night, of course, unfortunately, electricity went in the midst, of course, of explaining the situation as far as the issue or the decision by the courts, and of course, as explained in the Summary Offences Act, with respect, of course, to protest and what is permissible without, of course, police permission, as opposed to what is not. But that being as it may, we will continue with that, of course, tonight. But before all of that, don't forget, of course, on Saturday, I'll get the time for you. But yes, I think it's about 9 o'clock when they want to assemble. Talking about, of course, the trade unions, of course, protest against the Prime Minister, his government, and of course that despicable collective of evil that they have perpetrated against the people of Trinidad and Tobago. But we'll take that in strides. We'll take that in strides. Let's hear a little more music by these young folks.
She say it how me tongue and how it rests with tongue. She have a big snout tongue. Come and check it out. In the country it's a real thing to eat. She want me come and sample she mean. She want me head down in the country, oh. She want me head down in the country, oh. Boy, don't play around. Stop rhyming in tongue. You take it too long. She want me head down.
What are going down in the country for? What are going for?
Now it's a story about my friend named Annie. Now she does make it best phone in the world. And you know I is a man love for belly. So Annie,
big up to the ladies with the phone.
We having a Christmas flame. Don't find my friend Annie. She stays whole year, she waiting for me to come by. She I come for the bone, girl. You know I love that to eat. So grate the cassava and make it sweet. She got a basket.
Tensions are mounting ahead of the planned protest outside Whitehall on Saturday, where workers are being urged to come out in their numbers to express their dissatisfaction with the government, particularly in light of Cabinet's recent decision to accept the recommendations of the Salaries Review Commission, which will see the Prime Minister's compensation increase by roughly 47%.
They have taken us down this road in the mess that we are in right now. They recognize that they can't fix it, and they are about to fill their pockets before they go. When the people cry out for justice, he make up. When the people cry out for justice. When the people cry out for justice. When the people cry out for justice. When the people cry out for justice, he make mockery. And you know what he says? He says ding 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 ding. Because yeah, you remember that? Yeah, ding 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 ding. Well, friggin' ding 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 ding. You want 47?
Tensions are mounting ahead of the planned protest outside Whitehall on Saturday, where workers are being urged to come out in their numbers to express their dissatisfaction with the government, particularly in light of Cabinet's recent decision to accept the recommendations of the Salaries Review Commission, which will see the Prime Minister's compensation increase by roughly 47%.
They have taken us down this road in the mess that we are in right now, they recognize that they can't fix it, and they are about to fill their pockets before they go. And so he wants to feather his nest to ensure that his pension is the highest pension anyone, any government or any prime minister has ever received from now into perpetuity. And so that is why he could tell you in your face that he don't care if it's fair, he cares about himself.
Cabinet's acceptance of the pay increases comes, even as many workers are still working on dated salaries, some as far back as 2010, and as at least 2 trade unions have refused to accept the 4% wage increase offer.
We have done the exercise, and 4% over a 6-year period in some instances results in the workers' wages being reduced between 28 to 32 percentage points. We are demanding, and all other members who will have received the 4%, we are demanding that this government revoke that 4% and enter into meaningful discussion with the labor movement.
Meantime, with Auditor General Jaiwanti Ramdas raising red flags over the accounting of $850 million at PTSC and a $2.6 billion discrepancy in the revenue statements, the union leaders are echoing calls for an investigation.
We ain't saying that they thief the money, but we ain't sure that they didn't thief the money. We want to know where that money gone. We demand an investigation.
Money must go! Money must go!
2.5 billion plus 850 million and all the other monies that they have missing could very well ensure that all of these workers,
Money must go! Money must go! Money must go!
the MTS workers, the daily paid workers, the port workers, the workers across the country, the security services, across
Money must go! Money must go! Money must go!
wage adjustment.
Renessa Cutting, TV6 News.
Money must go! 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 Money must go!
Police brutality and the use of excessive force. Excessive force that was absolutely not necessary.
Yes, indeed, of course, people, I thought I should, of course, give you a reminder as to what are the issues or some of the issues that are plaguing Trinidad and Tobago today. Quite apart, of course, from
Money must go! 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 Money must go!
But Senator Mark is calling on me to answer for the police. Members of the media, members of the national community, I want to make it abundantly clear. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago in this matter and similar matters and police work on a day-to-day basis is not a matter for the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I have nothing to answer for. As a matter of fact, I wait to hear from the police the answers to a lot of what is being said and a lot of what they have to say about their own conduct. If they break the law, there is a way to deal with that. That's what the courts are there for. And when the court rules, if the government doesn't agree, there's the appeal court there for that.
Money must go! 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 Money must go!
Police brutality and the use of excessive force. Excessive force that was absolutely not necessary.
Yes, people, of course, and today was another exercise in what I consider to be tautology. A bunch of hogwash by Imbert attempting, of course, to sanitize the burning concern with respect, of course, to the revelation of the leader of the opposition. I'm so hurried that I want to replace, of course, that word with commissioner of police. But of course, it can't be this commissioner, but certainly the Imbert, Rowley, and his entire and the entire administration of Rowley, PNM, needs to be, of course, criminally investigated. Because, of course, Imbert today try, of course, convoluted and meander all over the place, saying that he doesn't understand the question that was asked by the journalist. I'm about to play a piece of that tonight, but it is so long and convoluted and boring that he, of course, engaged in obfuscation after obfuscation, even getting, of course, the journalists in that room frustrated. But don't be. All of that chalks up to what the intent of this government has always been, to get into government by subterfuge, lies, deception, and then, of course, empty the treasury right before our very eyes, and utilizing what bold-faced people call the question of aggression being the best form of defense. So they try to bully, and they try to deceive, and they try to use hyperboles, and they try to use body language that suggests that somehow they are in charge, large, and in authority. I say to you, don't be fooled, because on Saturday, all of us have a duty and responsibility, of course, to join in this, of course, effort to say Rowley must go, Rowley must go. Let me, of course, again reiterate that Rowley must go, and he must go, and must go.
Rowley must go! 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 Rowley must go!
Police brutality and the use of excessive force. Excessive force that was absolutely not necessary.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we must join the trade union and whatever entity, whether it's the pushback movement, whether it be other organizations that have, of course, recognized collectively and individually that there is a necessity.
Rowley must go! 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 Rowley must go!
But Senator Mark is calling on me to answer for the police. Members of the media, members of the national community, I want to make it abundantly clear. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago in this matter and similar matters and police work on a day-to-day basis is not a matter for the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
So who then?
I have nothing to answer for. As a matter of fact, I wait to hear from the police the answers to a lot of what is being said and a lot of what they have to say about their own conduct. If they break the law, there is a way to deal with that.
Yeah, right,
That's what
Rowley.
the courts are there for. And when the court rules, if the government doesn't agree, there's the...
Yes, indeed. Of course, let's pause for a cause. Let me just make sure and pause for a cause here. Yes, indeed. Let's get straight, of course, to the lines. Plus, a good night. Welcome to the corridor. Welcome to the corridor.
Hello, good night.
Good night, Mr. Rima. Welcome. Are you hearing me loud and clear?
I just want to clear up something.
Yes, go ahead.
Because I called this morning on the ground report. He does normally call your program, right?
Yes.
And he called this. This is the second time I believe he calling my name with a statement that Beulah made on your program last night concerning African people in this country and marching and all these kind of things.
Oh, I see.
They should protest, whatever.
Okay.
And he called my name and said I said those things.
All right.
He need to to hold his head straight, pay attention, he head shaking.
All right.
There's the second time, and he go on where it have a wider audience or a wider listenership, which is the ground report in the morning, and it have
Yes.
a big clown with us coming in the morning all 8 o'clock on the Guyal and thing now. And he is a man that's be always bashing me in all kind of technical form and dropping all kind of foolish statements and things.
All right.
You understand?
All right. All
I
right.
ain't calling name because
All
the
right.
clown don't call my name. Them P and them just call them clown.
I'll tell you what,
Right?
I'll take note.
So-
I'll take note because I didn't observe that. Otherwise, I would have, of course,
I
make an
say like how
intervention.
you could do me that because you don't forget.
No.
You know it's Beulah talk and them kind of thing with protests and with you know
no, it might have
African
been
people
that
coming out
I might
because
have
we
been-
go through slavery
yeah.
and blah blah blah. She talk.
All right.
I only talk twice concerning protesting. The
Yeah.
people have rights to protest.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Peaceful demonstration, peaceful protest.
Yes.
That is our right.
Yes. Yes,
Right?
yes. You made that very,
I
very
talk
clear.
for
Yeah.
the people to go out on Saturday, eh?
Yes.
They go in Whitehall at 7, no, not 7, 9.
9, yes, 9.
On Saturday morning. And people don't have to worry that is a Saturday, it's a start.
Yes.
And once it have a little 2,000, 3,000 people, they're going to move on and on. Don't watch how the outer world does have thousands of people. You have to remember this is just an island, right? And we don't know our rights. But people in places like Korea, which is South Korea, right? They went out and protest massive because they know their rights.
Yes.
No matter how you tell people that the law they have here, it cannot stand. They're saying it's the law, but that cannot stand with the international law. They're breaking the law. That is not the law. That law don't stand. You have rights as a nation that is a member, or I should say country that is a member of the United Nations Human Rights. And I would like that giant Lakshmi Diyal with all kind of human rights. People like Gerald Ramsey and Anissa Mohammed. You hearing the names are calling? Right? Let them come out because them they support the UNC and let you all know your rights with human rights with the international law and we don't be staying silent. It have clowns don't like when I talk like this. They like to powder puff, but I'm telling these clowns they can't cut my ass. Have a good night, Lennox.
Good night to you as well. I want to make it categoric and very, very pellucid that the trade unions would normally be granted opportunities like these, or should I say situations like these. They would have been armed with, of course, their consent from the police commissioner. In spite of the fact that one may have a view that, and all of us know that we have a right to protest. We have seen, of course, in Kenya, we have seen in Tanzania, where, of course, the young people, leaderless, but nonetheless, they achieve a substantial part of what they wanted to achieve, even against, of course, police caution and, of course, engaging. It doesn't matter whether it is violent or not. It is on the statute book under the Summary Offences Act, and the courts have made it very, very, very clear that you have the right to protest in a private place and gather for that purpose, but you cannot march, you cannot walk, you cannot have placards, etc., and chanting and so on the thoroughfare unless you get permission from the Commissioner of Police. The trade unions would have gotten that without a doubt, because that has been a normal part of their planning these kinds of exercises. We would love to, of course, not have that, but these laws are obsolete, I agree. But the fact is that it's on the statute books, and the police can take action when, of course, the statute is infringed. That is on the statute books. Whether whether the United Nations, whether of course the OS find it obnoxious, find it not consistent with contemporary rights of people, freedom to, of course, freedom of speech and expression, etc. The fact of the matter is that we have it on our books. That is why, of course, Christmas list is on trial now, simply because, of course, the Sedition Act, for example, which is also obsolete, is on the statute books, and the police can take action. Whether they are going to get leniency or they are going to be able to protect that law in court is another story. But the fact of the matter is, it is there, and the trade unions will and have engaged to get that exercise on Saturday materialize within the context of the Summary Offences Act. I want to say that. I would advise people to go and look at the Summary Offences Act, and then, of course, it is not sufficient to say that the police can or cannot act, but you need to work within the laws. Let's oh boy. Mr. Faizabad, sorry about that. I inadvertently, by accident, of course, cut you off. So if you can call back, I will appreciate that. In the meantime, of course, I will just... All right, okay, let's go there one time. Excuse me, a pleasant good night. Welcome.
A pleasant good night to you, Mr. Lennox.
A pleasant good night to you as well.
To all your listeners.
Yes.
And to share the love and the life to each and every one. And Mr. Lennox,
hey,
you know, when Job, right?
Yes. Who is that? The
biblical
Job?
Then the Bible talk about a Job.
Okay, right, okay. The man with plenty patience?
Yeah.
Okay.
I ain't talking about Job.
I hear you. Go ahead, my
friend. I
friend.
ain't talking about Job.
Yeah, because that's going to be too short. Yeah, it's going to chop up. Go ahead.
So, Job had a lot of patience.
Yes.
Then we see that Moses was in a palace, and he enjoyed the wealth of the land and all what is offered for him as a prince. When Moses get to realize and find out who he is and where he came from, he tell his stepmother and his stepfather, this is not my place here. My place is in the trenches. Amongst those people you are whipping. And Moses take up his rightful position amongst his people.
Mm-hmm.
And just as Mr. Lennox and the ground report team, they've come for the last 9 years and say, Rowley, set my people free. Set my people free, Rowley. Don't in bondage them and don't put them in slavery and don't suck them out for your betterment and your riches. Moses had turned to God and asked God for the way out. So, Mr. Lennox, I will leave it there for a while to say to the listeners, please see it in all their heart. Once again, I begging on behalf of the Baptist community for the little toy drive for the children.
Yes,
Suffer little children to come on to thee, but they are the servants. And he say, this shall go without sin, because they're pure and innocent. So, Mr. Lennox, I will say tonight, is the parents of the children who go without sin. Is it that we must always say the sins of the parents will fall on the children? When would the parents ask for the forgiveness and see it fit to put the children in a position of betterment? For the last 9 years, a black leader, a black organization called the PNM, and everything was black. They And all his supporters get was a blank. Nothing to uplift them for the last 9 years.
I hear you, I hear you.
Maybe now, I wonder if that the social programs of Donna Cox's ministry is working silently throughout the constituencies. Because I cannot see things like aloo, milk, and cereal so expensive. A basic need for your children and for yourself, and rice so expensive to have a comfortable meal. And the party you support, helping you with a better day, a better life. And now an organization is asking the people, let's move forward to save ourselves. Let me come out and send a message. Everybody asking a Saturday. Anybody know when Jesus did really born and where he born? We only hear it on the books. But now we're seeing and feeling what we're going through in this country. Mr. Lennox, I will say Jesus bless you. And I hope the PNM supporters could ride the back of the camel to pass through the eye of the needle. I'll call you back because I want to say something and I'm getting a little emotional.
All right, no problem, man. Get emotional as you wish, but of course, make sure that the language is sanitized. That being as it may, of course, let me just say two things by way of a quasi announcements. That is, officially, the UNC did not announce that they will be participating. There is a rumor saying that the UNC suggesting that the UNC officially has joined. No. What we have is that individual parliamentarians and other activists have decided, of course, to join the effort on their own volition. I want to make it clear that it has not come out, in other words, from the leadership of the UNC in a press conference, press statement, as the case may be. But individuals have decided, of course, they would. And if it end up like that, of course, even the political leader is there. It still does not mean that it has been officially sanctioned by the UNC. Of course, it will be ridiculous, of course, to think otherwise if the political leader is, of course, part and parcel of that. But I don't expect the political leader to be there, so I'm saying that out of an abundance of caution. The other thing that I wish to, of course, share with you is the whole question of somebody and first and foremost, let me just also, of course, apologize for the sudden break in transmission last night. That was due to the loss of electricity. I may have said it in my opening remarks, in my salutations, and just in case I would have omitted that as well, let me say a pleasant good night to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, our friends in Tobago, and wherever you are, streaming on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you. Welcome, of course, to the Corridor Transformation, the Thursday night edition, the penultimate night before, of course, I take my leave of absence, if you want to call it that, tomorrow night. But the issue the second issue I want to raise here is that during my period of darkness, somebody called and said that it is a stupid thing to do, to go to have that exercise on a Saturday because the Prime Minister is not there, and I was almost at pain to tell them it's not a question of the Prime Minister whether the person is there or not, and suggested, of course, that the matter be executed on a work day. But I also had to reference the fact that they were at the Prime Minister's residence as well, but it doesn't mean, and I doubt that the Prime Minister was at the residence, but is the symbol, and the people must understand the psychology of all of that. The fact that they are there, but of course they will have an opportunity, of course, for the media to be there, and the speeches and the references and the concerns will, of course, bellow and be telegraphed across the globe. But what it will be said is that they found themselves in front of the Prime Minister's office. It doesn't matter if it is a weekday or if the Prime Minister was there, because normally you don't expect, let's assume it was a work day, as I was explaining to that individual. Do you expect the Prime Minister to come out and shake Roger and the other organizers of this exercise? Well, my experience has not been that. If they expect that, well, of course, they are living in a fool's paradise as far as I am concerned, or are totally ignorant as to how these things operate. It's not by accident, and therefore they would have, of course, chosen that location, and therefore the day really and truly is irrelevant. What is important is that the objective of spreading and telegraphing to the widest possible audience, and I think that is what is the issue here. So those of you, and of course I suspect one of the considerations as well is that it's a Saturday, and most people may well be at home, or at least it's not a normal work day, so they expect to get an optimum, of course, of participation. I suppose that could be one of the strategies that they would have used in or considered in order to choose that particular. So a number of variables, a number of factors that one can consider, but certainly the question of the Prime Minister not there, no, that is issues, that is irrelevant. Let's go again, of course, to what would have engendered that particular exercise on Saturday, organized by the Joint Trade Union Movement. Yes, indeed.
Police brutality and the use of excessive force. Excessive force that was absolutely not necessary.
Yes, indeed. Of course, let's go to the lines and let's pause. Let me just pause first, and then, of course, go to the lines. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Hey, Mr. Lennox, I ain't called for a little while, man.
Yes, man. That's all right. That's all right. I know that your heart is with us.
That thing, man. I tried to send that thing. That thing cost more. Cattle cost more than funeral. So you want me to bring it for you? I'm coming down, you know.
All right. Okay. All right. Thanks. Then
I rather bring. I don't want you to spend this kind of money, man.
All right.
Or you get lost, but it's spending. Anyway.
No problem.
Anyway,
you keep that. We will talk privately on that matter.
I have it. Yeah. Or we have talked privately, but I just, Right. Listen.
Yeah.
I want to tell Mr. Rima. Mr. Rima. This is Ken here. Don't study these people when they talk, man. I don't study people. I get my share in the ground report. I stop. You see, I don't call no more. I listen. I get my share. I stop. I don't call no more. I say nothing. I stay in my lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just listen. That's it. I get my share. So, I just stay away. Let me mind my business. My business is trucking. United States here. I make my money here and I run it. I my own business, stay in my lane.
But we have a saying in Trinidad, of course, drink your water and mind your business. So I suppose that is what you have resolved to. Okay. I hear you. Go ahead, my friend. Yes.
Anyhow, this guy was talking in the ground report this morning about his Kong's business.
Yes.
Why you always, my opinion, why you always the time listening to that clock? You know what I mean? I get hit it.
I hear you. Different strokes for different folks, I suppose. Yeah. Different strokes for different folks.
Because you have so much of different things that to talk about in what's going on in Trinidad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of things different going on instead of that Kong's business, man. Leave that for next time.
But to be true, but to be fair, is Andy that raised it as a suggestion?
Yeah, but Andy keep going and Andy keep taking the guy to talk.
Yeah.
And Andy like Bacala.
Yeah. If Andy like Bacala, hear what Andy do me after the program. A fella call and saying that I just talk too much. I say, well, the only how I could talk too much is if I'm in the corridor transformation is me alone. And I expected to be talking. But then he says, then he referenced, of course, the ground report. I say, but Andy does talk more than me, but he and Andy are friends, you know. So Andy will not tell him, well, no, that is not so. So I tell him, well, monitor the program, and you will see Andy speaks for almost an hour. Before, of course, I get an opportunity because he has to call this name, that name, say morning to this one, that one, etc., etc. And by that time, about an hour and a half goes, and then I come in. So how the hell you could conclude that I speak more? But you see, it's the way how I speak is the difficulty. So they went on to talk about, of course, the language, the choice of words, etc., and big intellects doesn't understand some of the words, and that I should cut it down, and etc., etc., etc. as well. I had to tell him, well, Justice Lucky commended me, of course, for my diction and my vocabulary. And if he's a member of the judiciary of an international nature, and he could commend me, who the hell is all here? But I understand the difficulty. But I said no, on the ground report, I have a niche. I target a particular level of education and profession, etc. Andy does the same thing, but of course he's a grassroots, and of course Mikey comes in between there, and therefore it's the perfect combination. But I suppose his target was really me, to criticize me, and of course in all of that melee, in all of that matrix, if he likes Andy, how the hell he could turn off his radio when he hear me talking? So I know it's a blatant lie, because you have to turn it back on to hear Andy if it's so, and they could only know that if you're listening to when I finish. So I know that it was a sort of a personal thing, but this is how the cookie crumbles in this business, as I have observed. But go ahead.
But he keep talking about his swang, but boy, I get headache.
The same, yeah. That still thing took a lot of time. Yes.
The policeman, oh my God, he's gone. He on trip, man. He do not be. He just talking, man.
But no, there are some people who like to appear to be, and in some instances they are in fact, but you know, they like to appear to be smart. They are intellectually endowed, and that of course they have ideas that nobody has, and they wish to express it. Of course, we have a program that caters for that, but the problem is how much time you will dedicate to it, and that is where
exactly
the time.
Not wrong with that,
I understand clearly how the people think. You see, it's the amount of time you dedicate to it, and there was absolutely too much time this morning.
One topic and other things going on, you know what I mean? Yeah, but Mr. Lennox, they get on to business here. Dr. Rowley.
Yeah.
When let me tell you something. Like my thinking, I thinking outside the box.
Okay.
So listen, man. Listen to those facts. Dr. Rowley bring out this thing about raise of pay and a thing. Is a action. It's a strategy to distract the real part of the whole cake.
Go to the top of the class. Go to the top of the class. That's one of the various levels and multifaceted distractions that they have been piling on and piling up on the population to deflect away from. Go ahead. I don't want to say what.
The whole cake. The cake is that.
Yes.
That $3 and something billion.
Go to the top of the class
so
again,
man. So to distract.
Yes.
Because let me tell you something. $1 million is a dust compared to that kind of money.
The 1,000 million you're talking
so
about.
He's trying to distract. Listen, man. Listen, I have a spiritual discernment and I stupid. You know, I smart. When I say smart, I mean I could figure out stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes.
Because this guy trying to hoodwink the whole population to to stray the mind of the real problem with input with that money.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, and today,
So everything everybody
Imbert
talking
has
about,
the audacity
talking about
to come today and looking
Right.
to explain something different, different from
right,
the money. Yeah, go
right.
ahead.
You might
Yes, go ahead.
everybody might see that a different picture, but I stand that way
Yes, yes, yes.
because it's a whole topic about this Raleigh getting raised on this time, this blah 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 blah. But this is the whole topic. The whole pie is there. That's part of the pie. You know?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying,
Yes, no,
Mr.
no,
Lennox?
you're a very discerning guy. Very discerning. I appreciate, of course,
Right?
that level
So
of
trying to
thought,
distract this money. This
Yeah.
money from that money. But you got to keep on that.
Yes, yes.
That is the main topic. That money went to. Somebody had to get jailed.
That's right.
You know, that's a very important thing. Next thing, Mr. Fighterman, I know you're emotional about what is going on, man. Every parent, let me tell you something, every parent make a decision for the children. You know, every parent I see sorry for children. I have a compassion for children. But everything for compassion about children, what the parents make, and it fall on the children. It's your choice. And you live by the choices you make, but they do not know what they are affecting the children in the life and the future in that country. Mr. Lennox, if you rock back, if you live here, and you sit down and know where that country come to, it's very sad.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very sad, very, very sad. Everybody's sad about, they can't come back home.
Yeah.
They can't, they're confused.
Yeah.
Because they don't know if they're going to come back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're very confused about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people who live here want to come home and enjoy themselves for Christmas and things and see the family, and friends and family. But Mr. Lennox, I understand what Mr. Faisabad is saying. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's very, very emotional. It's for me.
Yes.
To understand what these children passing through. When these children like people don't understand what's going on. I want to take back your time. Let them, other people.
Yes, man.
But
Yes, man.
Mr. Lennox, when I
Yes.
come down there, Mr. Lennox,
Yes.
when I come down there, I want to meet you. We got to have dinner.
We will.
We're gonna have get there with your family.
I'm right in Port-au-Spain, so you have no choice but to see me. And
I'll come and look
meet
for you.
Yes.
I have a driver. I have a driver already.
Okay, great.
You know what I mean? So,
Great.
all right then.
Thanks. And people, I want you to pay attention to what the last caller said. You have to be discerning. No, the issues that are raised certainly must be given some attention, but cursory attention, limited to the extreme attention. But those matters that has far-reaching consequences and impact for the incompetence, the corruption, the nepotism, the cronyism of this government must be closely, not just guarded, but close behind, almost without a dividing line behind what the issue that the government would have raised in order to generate the deflection. Because it is extremely disconcerting. It is disrespectful. It is obnoxious for Imbert to come and have a press conference relating to the concern or the revelation of the opposition leader as far as the Tobago airport extension project is concerned, and the overruns and the increased cost to the point of about $500 million. Very, very important. But let's go to the line, and we will, of course, continue with that discussion, because that caller is extremely discerning. Because if that did not occur, that statement made by Kamala, which the government felt they had to respond. Not that he said anything that would have, of course, deviate from what the opposition said and to change your mind, but it was important for him to do that, to, of course, wipe the shame and the disgrace and the egg on his face. Because remember, the Privy Council asked the question, one of the justices, why Imbert is not being investigated. In addition to that, Imbert was removed as a demand to replace Rowley when he's out of the country as acting prime minister. You see, I say so because the objective today was to, of course, sanitize himself by using what I call a plausible excuse. Responding, what is the excuse? Responding to the opposition leader. You see how these fellas think. And therefore, he can present himself on that matter, hoping somehow that your 9 days or 10 days mentality, as they would like us to be subjected to, so that he could say what he said today, and you must not have that in mind. And if an iota of the decision of the Privy Council was only mentioned, he would easily and quickly say, no, I ain't come here to talk about that. I come to talk about the statement made by the opposition leader. That is how clever they feel they are. I tell the last caller, well done. The opposition provided, of course, an opportunity for another deflection, and not that she is wrong, not that she ought not to disclose, but you know when they come, they are going to lie on top of that, not tell the truth. But you cannot take away the fact that it is an opportunity to sanitize themselves and to feel good about himself, he Imbert, and of course put his face to the national community when he should be hiding it in disgrace. And why am I, what are the other factors that will certify, that will confirm what I am saying, that is another ruse on the part of this government, in this case, of course, Imbert. You see, if you are talking about the overruns at the airport, one would have expected that the management and the executing agents would have also been with him in that room. Understand that? So therefore, if NIDCO is the executing agent, one expects that a member, the chairman at least of that company, would have been there with him. And if, of course, the matter is really a Ministry of Works, a works exercise, both in terms of supervision, in terms of execution, in terms of payment, etc., or certification for payment, then, of course, the minister, not the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Works ought to be the one that is engaging the public on that project. Notice that did not happen. Imbert alone was in the room. I want you to understand, and we will identify it for you if you may be short on, of course, that discerning ability, as the last caller indicated. So it's important. So from the time I see Imbert alone there, and I know that, of course, somebody from UNICOT or NIDCO had to be there, somebody from the Ministry of Works, and in fact, at least the Minister of Works ought to be there. And if he is there because he may be familiar with the project, because you would notice that in that particular press conference, he really said much and nothing. He said much and nothing, because he was saying that he don't know. He's unaware. And what kind of question you're asking me? I'll be more specific and so on. That That was part of the matrix. But he got an opportunity to be in front of the media and therefore in front of our faces. Of course, most of us would want to mash up our television and so on if it wasn't so damn expensive and work was so hard, wasn't so hard to get. You might have done that in a different time. So I want you to understand that. So the last caller was very, very, very specific. The discerning ability of the population and recognizing the deception, the deflection, and the propaganda of this government, we must, of course, be very, very meticulous. And then, of course, as he rightly said, attempts, of course, to deflect attention away from the existential concern, and that is the Auditor General and that multi-billion-dollar, I wouldn't say discrepancy, but mismanagement. And then, of course, that is of real concern and must be of real concern to the population. It is our money we are talking about in our future. President, good night. Welcome.
Yes, good night once again.
Go ahead.
I now take something on the chat and I say, let me talk about it.
Go ahead. Yes.
You hearing me clearly?
Loud and clear, my dear.
All right, hear this. I wonder if you realize a smart man like you is criminologist and all this thing. I wonder if you realize we're living in communism. You realize that? Answer me now.
Yes, the man is a dictator. The man at the helm of our affairs is a dictator. What he is using, of course, is the permissibility of the office he holds and the offices that his ministers hold to impose his will on the people. And that is what the reality is. Yeah.
Yes, but let me talk simple now. We want them dunty head people in the place because he said they're stupid, you know.
Yeah.
So we want the stupid one who don't understand communism to understand it. Look at something. He have us in bondage. Communism dictators is have you in bondage. Oh gosh, we working hard. It's a set of tax, bill, you can't pay. Listener, you had to take where you get the 4%. Them gaining, they getting, they're doing as they want. They're making all kind of law. Right? Our local laws here to have you done.
Yeah.
With this, I'm talking about this demerit points kind of thing. With driving.
Oppressive and repressive, yeah.
All kind, oppression, all kind of fine, big fine. If you break the light, something is a set of money to pay.
Yeah.
Heavy bondage we living in.
That's right.
Lennox, sometime here by my house, no, this is what have me angry. Is no water for all 3-4 days. I just want to know how some people talking, they didn't have water for a whole month. Lennox, when water going down, you had to pinch. You had to wash wares in a basin. Keep that water if you had to scrub down somewhere in front of your place. Or you had to keep it to flush the toilet. You can't take that water and throw it away. You had to pinch, Lennox.
Yeah.
You can't take US from your family members when they come from the United States or wherever, foreign. You can't take it. Most of these people who come to this bring it to give their family to help them or pay them for taking care of their property, blah, blah, blah. It's not always you just have to purchase money from your family that come from outside, right?
Yes.
So now you can go and sell it over to get a little cacada on top of it instead of change it in the bank. That communist behavior. And I keep telling all of this man tick with this Diaz Canal, it's the Ralph Gonzalez and the Maduro. All of them is strong members of this mafia here. The man make joke when he tell all about the mafia, you know. Who you all feel is the mafia? This government? Look here, always stay there and play the fool with this man. He know to play chess good. These people in Venezuela give he a good study. Yeah, they study him good. They see how he is, and they was waiting. Them don't want nothing with Kamala, you know. They don't like she, you know. They don't like that lady at all. Right?
Yes.
They like Keith Christopher Rowley because he, right, together with them, he and all Nicaragua, all of them is a whole section. And this is something to play with. So he have us in bondage. You can't travel to go anywhere. It's only the rich, the middle class, upper middle class could leave this country. You hear? But poor people cannot leave. Long ago, poor people could have saved a little money in a little 6 months and they take a trip and they travel somewhere in the Caribbean and things. No, for them to do that, will take them years to have a little happiness to leave Trinidad to say they're going to some country close by. It wasn't so. You used to get US and you could have saved a little money quick and make a little trip once a year and so. No rich people can't go nowhere. It's no foreign exchange. Also, is the money. I hear years ago, all kind of 10 years ago, all this time, if you see people scrubbing down roof, they're painting, who breaking out window, furniture coming in, furniture throwing away.
And Christmas lights all over the place.
Hey.
No, it's not
people
so.
People are even painting the front wall, all this kind of thing. They get nothing.
And if there's Christmas tree lights downstairs, there's none upstairs.
Yes, they have to ration. We on everything is ration now.
Yes, you're right. You're extremely right.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So remember, we living in communism style.
Yes.
Take that in all your pipe and smoke it.
Yes, we have to talk dictatorial tendencies. We have to talk autocratic tendency, which is, of course, is a dictator description. And Miss Arima is absolutely correct. Because you see, the final, should I say, piece of conclusive evidence. Let me repeat, the final piece of conclusive evidence is the fact that Rowley and they are prepared to use the law enforcement agencies to coerce us, to force us to do what he wants. And of course, the pushback movement witnessed that, the trade unions will witness that, even the opposition would have witnessed that. And that, to me, concludes irrefutably, without fear of contradiction, that Rowley is a blasted dictator, and he's attempting, of course, in a democracy to promote, of course, that dictatorial